Hi everyone, I'm Elizabeth from Flowers Talk Tivoli, and today I wanted to talk to you about bringing your indoor plants to the beautiful outdoors. Your plants have spent their whole winter nice and snuggled up in your home, and they are craving to be outside just as much as we're craving to be outside. But the biggest thing to remember is to make sure that the temperature is not as cool at night. It's different than planting those frost hardy plants in your annuals and perennials in your garden, where we usually wait until the last risk of frost is over. But for your house plants, I recommend waiting till the temperature at night isn't going to go below at least 12 degrees at night, because if not, you're going to shock those plants so much. Another thing to remember is that when you're bringing things outside, they can't just go from the shady, dark of our home or even in a bright spot in our home to just outside in full sun or into the elements. You'll risk losing your plants. You'll risk doing a lot of damage to them. So we recommend a hardening off period. A hardening off period means that if you can bring your plants out for a couple of hours a day into a shadier spot, whether it's protected under a porch, whether it's under a canopy, a pagoda, something like that, to help protect them so that they're not at risk of the elements right away. Kind of the same thing as going out into the sun without any sunblock, and you're going to get burnt and you're going to do damage to those plants. So we suggest protecting them from wind and also protecting them from a lot of the bright sun. So bring them out for a couple of hours a day, keep them in a shadier spot, bring them in at night when the temperature is still below 12 degrees at night, bring them out for a little bit longer in a bit of a shadier spot, introducing them to a little bit of morning sun. Nothing harsh, none of the 10 to 3 p.m. Southern sun. It's way too harsh. So if you can keep bringing those in and out and slowly climatize those plants, the hardening off sometimes can take up to about a week or so. And then when the plants are okay with about 7 hours of light outside, the temperatures are above 12 degrees, then you're okay to keep those outside. Also remember though that the brightest spot in your home, if you have lots and lots and lots of sun, is still one of the shadiest spots outside. So a lot of those plants that do like lower light, they don't like bright light outside. You're going to shock those plants. So just make sure that the things that do like bright light still do not go into direct sunlight. For instance, your succulents and your cacti, they do like lots and lots and lots of bright light, but I wouldn't put those out into all day southern exposure, hot burning sun. You're just going to burn your plants, and then you're not going to have any of those beautiful house plants to bring back in the fall. Some of the things that do really well are the aloes. So aloes, again, don't put it out in direct sunlight. It does like a little bit of partial shade. Inside, it likes lots and lots of sun, so don't worry about that. But bring it outside and put it into partial shade. The cordyline does like brighter light as well. Not all day burning sun. It does like a little protection. If there's too much sun on it, the leaves will go brown. But again, after the hardening off and bringing it out from the bright spot inside, gradually outside, it will transition well into your pots. Same with the bird of paradise. Bird of paradise does really, really well in bright light. It actually prefers to be in bright light than it does to be in low light. So again, slowly introduce that into your bright light outside. Monsteras do really well in bright but indirect light. So I would keep that in. I would keep that in a little bit of morning sun outside, and then making sure it's protected from the hot summer afternoon sun. Same with the ficus. The Kalanchoe flapjack does really well in bright light, and so does the sedum. Really, really beautiful. Aloe, I would do bright light, but I would protect it from the afternoon hot sun. I would give it some really good morning sun, and you'd be happy. Another thing to remember too is when you're putting your plants outside, don't put plants outside that don't have any drainage holes in the bottom of your containers. Everything has to be planted with drainage holes, especially outside. So it's getting the natural rain, it's getting the humidity, it's super, super happy. But if you don't have drainage holes in the bottom of your pots, you're just going to drown your plant and it's going to rot. So my rule of thumb is you can't really overwater something outside if it has drainage in the bottom of it. The plant knows how much water to take. It's just going to run out the rest of it. If it's sitting in another pot that is going to keep the water inside, you're going to risk of rotting your plants as well. Do make sure that when you are transplanting into a pot with drainage that you use a really good tropical soil mix. So something like a Pro Mix, Miracle Grow, really has a really good mix of peat moss, vermiculite, and perlite in it. So you're not just planting it with a generic garden soil or a black earth, way too heavy on your plant's roots. And again, you could be running a risk of rotting your roots as well. If you're going to be repotting agaves, kalanchoes, aloe veras, anything in the succulent cacti category, make sure to use a really good mix that is made for cacti. So this one has a really nice sandy mix to it. If you can't get your hands on that, just make sure to add in about 30% of sand into your tropical soil mix that you're using. Don't add sand into a regular black earth or a generic garden soil. Mix the two together with a really good tropical soil mix. And again, drainage, 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 it's key. You will notice that when your plants go outside in the summer and you do have that wonderful drainage in those pots, they may have to be watered daily. You'll notice your ferns, your ivies, a lot of your palms, those are going to have to be watered daily, just from the wind and the sun that we have outside. So a lot of the indoor plants will go through some suffering because they are not getting as much, they're not getting watered as much. So they will need a really good water. But once you've hardened off those plants that you brought in for the winter, bring them outside, have that hardening off stage. Make sure they are protected from the sun. Don't put them in those strong elements. Use good pots with good holes in the bottom of it for drainage, and make sure to use a good quality potting mix, and your plants will thank you. They will almost double in size when they're outside, and they're just going to flourish with the humidity and the rain. So I hope this video has helped you. I hope you can help create yourself a tropical oasis outside. And if you have any questions, you know where to find us. We'll see you at the shop. Bye.